Spoilers ahead. The film begins. And we meet Howard, who lives in a parallel universe, on a planet similar to Earth. But the planet is inhabited by anthropomorphic ducks, and named Duckworld. Howard is 27 years old, and spends his days smoking, drinking, and reading the issues of Playduck magazine.
My little airbrushed beauty.
One day, as Howard relaxes in his armchair, it begins to shake about. And he gets propelled out of his apartment building and into outer space. He eventually crosses dimensions, and ends up in Cleveland, Ohio. Howard begins running around the city, terrified of the unfamiliar beings, as a band is shown playing on stage. Howard encounters a woman being attacked by a group of thugs. So he decides to help her out with his martial art of quack fu. After the thugs run away, the woman introduces herself as Beverly, and decides to take Howard into her apartment and let him spend the night. Howard tells Beverly the circumstances of his arrival, and the two become close. The next day, Beverly takes Howard to a supposed scientist named Phil Blumbert, whom Beverly hopes can help Howard return to his world. Phil is revealed to be only a janitor. So Howard resigns himself to life stuck on Earth, and rejects Beverly's aid. Howard later lands a job cleaning up at a local romantic spa. Due to unfair treatment by his boss, Howard quits the job. He returns to Beverly, who he discovers plays in a band called Cherry Bomb. At the club they are performing at, Howard comes across Cherry Bomb's manager. After the manager badmouths the band, Howard confronts him, and a fight ensues. A fight in which Howard is victorious. Howard rejoins Beverly backstage and accompanies her back to the apartment. While there, Beverly convinces Howard to be Cherry Bomb's new manager.
I've given up trying to assimilate. Although...
Howard, you really are the worst.
The two begin to flirt, and almost engage in aggressive cuddling. But are interrupted, when Blumbert and two of his colleagues Dr. Walter Jennings and Carter arrive to explain how Howard came to this world. Scientists have been working on a dimensional jumping device. It just happened to be aimed at Howard's universe, and brought him to Earth when it was activated. They theorize that Howard can be sent back to his world through this same process. So they drive with Howard to the lab with a plan to send him back.
Of all the alleys in the world I could have fallen into that night, why did it have to be yours?
However, the device malfunctions upon being used a second time, and they suspect the possibility of something else being brought to Earth this time around. Around this time, Jennings' body is taken over by a life form from another alternate dimension. At a diner, the life form introduces itself as the Dark Overlord.
If you could tune back into reality for a second.
Before it demonstrates its developing mental powers, by assassinating table condiments. The truckers in the diner begin to insult Howard, so another fight ensues. The fight results in Howard's capture, and near decapitation, at the hands of the diner chef. However, the truckers are scared off when the Dark Overlord destroys the cafe, before it kidnaps Beverly, and escapes in an articulated truck. Meanwhile, Howard finds Phil, and frees him from a police car after he was arrested for having no security clearance. While on the run, they come across a light aircraft, which they use to hunt down the Dark Overlord and Beverly. After returning to the lab, the Dark Overlord ties Beverly down to a metal bed. It is hoping to transfer another Dark Overlord into her body, with the Dimension Machine. Howard and Phil return to the lab, and use an experimental neutron disintegrator laser on the Dark Overlord.
It's working! It's working!
However, the Dark Overlord reveals itself as a monstrous stop-motion creature. Howard fires the neutron disintegrator at the beast, killing it. All the while, the Dimension Machine is in the process of bringing more Dark Overlords to Earth, leaving Howard with no choice but to destroy the machine, ruining his only chance of returning to Duckworld. This results in Howard's loss of a ride home, a decision he comes to accept since Earth and Beverly are now safe from danger. Howard has now become Beverly's manager. He hires Phil as an employee while they tour, and performs with Beverly on stage. And the movie ends. Howard the Duck is a 1986 superhero comedy, produced by George Lucas and based on the comic of the same name. Though the evil Overlord's full title in the comic is Thog the Nether Spawn, Overmaster of Seminus. Howard the Duck disappeared from the big screen for exactly 28 years and 1 day. Until his 2014's appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more.
Dad.